Sean, great to see you.
Both.
Let's talk broadly about the latest situation in the Ukraine-Russia war, and I guess with some context, we haven't spoken for a while, about how striking it was to you when Ukraine did cross the border and proactively go into Russia.
Yeah, it was quite a surprise. I think most military analysts, I wouldn't be at all surprised if the West was largely caught out by it as well. From a purely military perspective, you tend to focus on main effort. And main effort at the moment for Russia appears to be in the Donbas, and therefore what you want to have as Ukraine is to stem the tide, make the ultimate price for every step they move forward. So why would you divert 1,000 initially, potentially now 10,000 quality Ukrainian troops to several hundred miles north to do an incursion and admit that you actually have no intention of holding the ground? So you sort of think, OK, what is going on here? Now, inevitably, it was a secret operation. We don't know what the objectives were, but what pretty evidently President Putin is painted as Mr. Security. You know, he's stability for Russia. Russia largely is not aware it's involved in a war in Ukraine. By actually invading an incursion in, and 120, 150,000 residents had to be moved out. They will talk. They inevitably, that takes the message, it undermines Putin's position. Also, if Putin wants to do something about it, crush it, he's got to move troops from the front line. That eases pressure on the front line. But so far, we've not seen that actually happen.
In terms of the way Ukraine is achieving this, it is involving more long-range weapons. Are they specifically Western weapons?
One of the things that President Zelensky was very keen when he had done this incursion was, you've got to allow me to use these long-range weapons, not only use them, but actually take away the restrictions. That's fine, except for the fact now you've got Ukrainians operating in Russian territory, the first time since 1941 that anybody's done that. The risks for potentially escalating were quite significant, and that meant the West was backing off. Not only that, there's not an endless supply of these weapons like Storm Shadow and ATACMS piled up. A lot of them have been given away. The absolute ace that Zelensky is now playing is that, OK, I may not be able to get the weapons. Western industries building them, it takes ages to build them, safety cases and flight testing. Zelensky's now just been buying the elements, the components and the technology, bringing it to the country, bolting it all together and using it. He doesn't have to worry about flight testing. He doesn't have to worry about a safety case. The first time the drones, for example, fly, it's on a real mission. And there's reports that Ukraine has not only invented its own ballistic missile and tested it, but is actually using long-range drones built, designed and made in Ukraine. And, of course, nobody knows what their capability is. I've tried to do some research. There's a few clips online. And Russia probably won't know what their capability is, and they are proving remarkably effective.
What's the strategy over the next month, do you think, for either side? Is Ukraine going to continue with this course of action?
Well, I think the problem is that Russia, despite all the good news about what Ukraine is up to at the moment, the main effort for Russia is to push against Pokrovsk and in the south of the country to take the remaining bit of the Donbas. It appears that Putin's been pretty clear. The special military operation, secure Crimea, secure the Donbas and the land bridge in between. If you look at a map, he's largely got most of that secured now. And therefore, with 10 to 12 weeks before the winter arrives, Russia will be pushing hard, because at the end of this fighting season, what happens in America? There's the election. If President Trump returns into office, there's all sorts of rumours that he will be looking to do a deal. And that's exactly what Zelensky will be hoping for.
Sure. Great to see you as always. Thanks so much.